My name is Shah, and I'm 22 years old.
How have you solved today's problems as a social entrepreneur?
I haven't solved anything yet. We're in the process, I think, of trying to solve the problem of entrepreneurial education for college students. We think that there's a huge void right now of real, practical, hands-on opportunities for college students to learn how to start a business. So it's not like we're solving any problems directly, but we're not smart enough to do that. We're finding people who are very, very talented, very intelligent, and giving them the opportunity to start businesses that'll then solve the world's problems. So we're sort of second-degree solving problems, I would say.
So how does it operate, and what is the name of your organization?
Oh, there we go.
Give us some background.
Good call. Okay, so my name is Shah, and I'm the CEO of Compass Partner. My name is Shah, and I'm the co-founder and CEO of Compass Partners. My business partner, Arthur Woods, and I started this organization to sort of fill the need that we had faced when we tried to start a business in college. So both my business partner and I, we started different sort of social enterprise. I started a fair trade tea delivery service. He started a fruit delivery service for local farmers markets. And both of the businesses didn't live up to our expectations freshman year, and they failed. And it was a good experience. We both learned a lot, but we found that we could have done a lot more if we had a community, if we had an organization around us, mentorship, support. So we kind of started to put together an idea of a program that we wish we would have had when we were in college. So the program was a 2-year fellowship, and it has 4 parts to it. One is a personal development module, and one is a business development module. Each of those are 1 semester long, and they're composed of CEOs, innovators, entrepreneurs, authors coming in once a week, speaking to our students and talking to them about some aspect of personal development or business. So they come in 1 week and they talk about negotiations. These students, they learn from these entrepreneurs, these CEOs. They hear about some aspect of negotiation and personal development. Then they get a coffee card and Okay, so these students for negotiation, they talk about negotiation. They go downtown to Chinatown. They negotiate with people in Chinatown. So they figure out prices. They employ the practices that they heard from these CEOs who talked about negotiation. Then they meet in a small group and they discuss negotiation with their peers. And throughout this whole process, they're coming up with a business. They're working on their own personal development. And 3rd semester, they get an internship. 4th semester, we give them access to capital so they can start their own businesses. So each of our students, and right now we have 75 who are in the 1st year and 15 who are in the 2nd year, each of these students is going to start a business in 2 years, which is really cool. All the businesses we require to be socially beneficial, financially sustainable, and operationally possible, so they're all social enterprise.
How have you had to work across traditional boundaries to get things done?
I think we're operating in a different space than a lot of traditional social enterprises. We're working with colleges, with universities, and universities are giant nonprofits, or for-profit organizations that act like nonprofits. It's a different ballgame. We're not playing in the capital markets like we learned in business school. We're not playing with small business. We're playing with universities, and so I think the universities, they're full of academics, and they're full of administrations, and everyone means well in this space, but I think there's a lot of struggle. We're fighting uphill a lot of times to get our program in schools and get them licensed. So our solution to the problem was that we work directly with students, and we have the students set up the program, and students they have plenty of time, they have plenty of energy, and so they put together the program and then they pitch it to the university. So we sort of we go underneath the university process, and then we approach the university with a fully formed program.
And I know you're pretty new, but have there been some success stories that you have to tell of some of the entrepreneurs you've trained?
Absolutely. So this is our 2nd year of the program and the 3rd year of Compass Partners. On top of this fellowship program, we also run an incubator. And our success stories from the incubator, we've started a bike rental service. We've started a theater production company that puts on shows that relate to the community. So their plan is to go in the inner city this year, and they're currently recruiting people to put on shows that talk about problems in the inner city. That was from the incubator. From the fellowship so far, we have 1 student who's starting a program called Headlines, and it's to empower young women who are into fashion to not think of themselves as ditzy or unintelligent just because they're into fashion. So she sources scarves and headbands from China, puts empowering quotes on them for women. She sells them to women, and on the card is a little code that they can then use to go online and find other such women who are young and into fashion, but also very intelligent, very interested in developing their minds. That program's off the ground running. We have one student who's working on a program called the Solar Bank, and the Solar Bank, it's buying a plot of land in California, implementing solar panels there, installing them, developing them, and then using the energy savings from those solar panels to subsidize the cost of energy bills in Anacostia. And he's going to be off the ground next year with 25 families. We have a student who is starting a talent agency, taking students from Georgetown, GW, and American who are performers and taking them into schools, having them teach programs there, and then connecting them with venues around the schools and other places in the community. So all in all, I mean, all the fellows have started businesses, and part of the program is that the businesses have to be off the ground. We have we have 14 businesses that are currently running. I think the funny thing is that with entrepreneurs, you can't stop them once they have an idea. So we had this idea originally of, well, there'll be one module of this, one module of this, one module of this, and then they'll start a business. But all these students, they heard our speakers speak, and they're all starting businesses. We can't stop them from doing it. So the success stories have been coming in quickly. So all in all, we have about 14 businesses that are off the ground.
How old were you when you got involved in youth movements and civic engagement?
My dad has been a big influence in my life, and he started a business when I was in high school, selling LED signs and LED lights, and I was involved every step of the way. He and I, we worked together. I would skip school sometimes to work with him, and he was a really big influence in my life. So I would say I probably started right around the start of high school when my dad started his business. I went to a Jesuit school, and there's a lot of social justice involved there. And I think it's a pretty big trend among entrepreneurs that they're sort of serial entrepreneurs. Even if they didn't start businesses in their life, they've been involved in things like entrepreneurship since they were young. So most of the people that are part of the program started right around high school, even before that sometimes. So.
What inspired you to take action in the first place? What was the moment that you decided?
Take action with Compass, or just take action in general?
Either one with Compass, or was there like a moment where you're like, I want to do this, or I want to be a social entrepreneur, or was it kind of a gradual understanding?
Sure. If it was taking action to be a social entrepreneur, I've known that pretty much since I started this business with my dad. If it's taking action with Compass, I think that when Arthur and we sat down, I remember very distinctly, we met in the student center in Levy, our Georgetown Student Commons. We met there and we talked about why our businesses hadn't been working. And we said, what if we could put together a program that would make it so that it wasn't just us who were learning from this program, but every student who wanted to start a business. And so the next day we went to the library and we spent 7 or 8 hours sitting there and fleshing out this idea. And originally I thought, this will be a fun project. But as we started fleshing out that idea, I realized this had the potential to be something much bigger than it is right now.
What challenges do you see facing youth and young people today?
Okay, so in my opinion, youth right now is facing just a large number of problems that it's going through. There's one is that we've been put on this career path for most of our lives, and we've been told that we need to go to high school so we can go to college, so we can get a job, so that we can go to grad school, get another job, and then retire, And I think the way that the economy is working right now, all of that is fundamentally shifting. Entrepreneurs are going to be controlling our economy in the next 20 years. They're going to be driving social change, driving just for-profit change, driving industries. And our current school system doesn't train us to do that. And so I think one of the problems that youth are going to face is there are always going to be a lot of people who are involved in this space right now are going against the wishes of their parents, or going against the wishes of their mentors who are saying go get a job, get some skills beforehand. But I think the challenge is to believe in yourself and really think that this is the right thing to do. As cheesy as that sounds, I think a lot of entrepreneurs are going to always face uphill pressure when they're starting their ventures. I think a lot of young people are going to face uphill pressure where they're trying to fulfill their passions and live up to their dreams. So that's a big problem, I think. I think the other problem that youth are facing is just that there's there's a lot of energy that we have and a lot of excitement, and I think focusing that energy into ventures, into programs that are actually making impact instead of just happening. We're a culture, at least at the college level, it's a culture of excitement and energy, and everyone wants to start something, and everyone has founder syndrome, and people want to develop businesses. But I think really what everyone needs to be focused on is impact, and that's something that we're not really taught in the school system. We're not even taught to start businesses. Moreover, we're not taught to start businesses that look for impact. So those are the two big things I would say.
So what advice do you have for young people who are interested in becoming more involved in youth organizing, youth mobilization, their communities, the political process?
I would say just go for it. College is the perfect time. High school is the perfect time. You're in school. You have a lot of resources, networks. I would say do whatever it takes to get involved in social enterprise or civic engagement, because you're never going to have a time like that. There's so much free time, so much opportunity in college and high school.